Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, hello.
How is everybody?
Good. How are you? Dark.
I'm okay. I'm okay. One more week. So I'm
Oh, you're not done.
no, we're not done. We go
Oh my
till
gosh.
the bitter end.
We were done last Friday, and today we found out our principal is leaving. She just
Oh
got
my
an
God.
area supervisor job, and everybody is really upset.
Oh no.
I know.
How was your first week of vacation though?
Really good. My cousin is here, and we're doing pottery, so I'm
Oh,
taking a break.
nice.
Yeah, she does pottery too. So we're taking a break to do this. So I'm not going to have my camera on for part of it because I'm going to go back there and watch.
Okay.
But
That's fine.
yes, but I didn't want to miss it.
It's just gonna be chilling and doodling, and I don't know. I don't even have a format in mind, so I guess I'll throw stuff out there and see what sticks.
Awesome.
What we want to do. I don't see wine glasses.
I have one.
Well, excellent. I have a thermos that I'll pretend is full of wine, but it's
you
just
have school tomorrow. One more week.
yes,
Ugh.
more week. One more week. We'll get
When
there.
when do you go back?
Go back in September, you mean?
Yeah.
The day after Labor Day, I think.
Teachers, like we go back August 16th. Teachers go back August 16th.
That's when we go back.
I think we go back the Tuesday after Labor Day. We have 2 days of, administrative stuff and getting our rooms ready and whatever, and then the kids come.
Steph, actually Rosh Hashanah is the days right after Labor Day. So we go back so people who don't have Rosh Hashanah have a really nice 5-day weekend.
Right.
If you have Rosh Hashanah, then you have 2 days of Rosh Hashanah and then you go right back.
Oh, okay.
We have 2 days and then the kids they're coming late, like the 13th, because they come like the next Monday.
That's right. I haven't thought that far ahead. I just want
No, so the break's about the same.
Yeah.
We're 2 weeks.
We go back the first week of August.
The first week?
Whoa.
Yeah.
So then
pre-planning is for like those first 3 days, and then the kiddos start like Thursday.
Well, how long have you been? When was your last day of school?
The 21st with students
of May.
And then we had 3 days of post-planning the following week.
Oh, wow. So you've been off for a while.
Couple of weeks. Yeah. Almost a month.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
No, you'll make it. I like your artwork on your clothesline behind you.
Oh, thank you. This is my studio at home that has become a bittersweet place. It's not like my happy art making place anymore. It's like my home office, which I don't get to hang out in anymore and do, my own stuff, but that'll change this summer. I'll get to rearrange it and change it up again, but thank you. A lot of those things are things we did in school this year, other ideas that I wanted to do and didn't get to, and at least people know when I'm on Zoom that what I do for a living.
Yeah. So are you teaching fully from home?
Yeah, I've been remote 100% since September.
Oh, I thought you guys went back.
Well, I opted for the accommodation because historically I have mild asthma that every year when the seasons change in school, I get bronchitis. So I just didn't want to invite any potential situations. So I said, you know what, let me, instead of go, and also the back and forth stuff, it's hard to do art when you're constantly interrupted, go in, go out, go in, go out, go out. So I said, you know what, let me just do this and keep it one way, straight through. And I'm sure as everybody else has discovered, there are benefits to having been home, but there are also, you know, there's like personal things that were great for being home, but professionally, we can't do our job the right way, the best way from home remotely. It's just not a remote kind of thing when you're dealing with kids. You have to be hands-on, you have to be face-to-face. It's a tactile kind of thing, and if you can't do it, it doesn't work the same way. But I have to say, it has been, other than the stress of kids not doing the work, internally, it's the most peaceful school year. You know, aside from all the stress of chasing kids, it's been so relaxing to not have the constant barrage of noise and cleanup and crazy classroom stuff. But I miss all that crazy classroom stuff. So it's a kind of double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a different experience or similar, or?
I was remote the first semester. Second semester, it was remote with a little bit of students, so 2 days a week or something. We kind of have a flip-flop schedule. Then we flip-flopped again, and then we flip-flopped again. And then finally, after spring break, they said, okay, we're bringing kids back, except for those who opted to stay home. You know, we gave them, the families, that option. So I would generally have, instead of 25, I would have 15, or as small as 6 or 7. But it was still very disjointed. I've never felt like I really had them. You know, their mindset wasn't there. My mindset wasn't there. I think it was hard to give feedback remotely.
Yeah.
And there were lots that didn't do the work even when they came in person. That's the hard thing is, gosh, you're here. Why won't you do the work?
Because it demotivated at that point. The momentum is gone, and
yeah,
it's tough. I mean, as hard as it was for us, it's got to be harder for the kids because they don't have the experience to manage their frustration, you know, in different ways. So they shut down, they act out, they whatever, you know, but fresh start in September. Fresh start for all of us.
August.
Yeah.
Middle of August.
That's true. Wow. Hi, Mom. You're muted. You're still muted.
Oh, there she's talking.
Yeah, she keeps talking. Keep talking. You're still muted. Now you're invisible.
Oh, she's gone. Oops. She'll be back.
She'll get it. This is her routine. Say something.
How about now?
Got you. We got you. Okay.
I did everything right.
Fantastic. So I wanted to do something totally relaxing and easy tonight, aside from chatting, and anybody can, you know, say anything at any time. This is our little community, and it's safe and our happy place. Which reminds me, I have to create a presentation about this group and the success that we've had. And if any of you would like to send me an email with a blurb about what this group has meant for you or done for you, or you know, any testimonial, I'd like to include that in a presentation that I have to do, and I can do it as a typed statement with your name. That would help me tremendously. If you could email that to me over the weekend, that would be really appreciated. And you know what? I'll put my email in the chat again. There we go. So if you could all send me just a little blurb, you know, about this little community we've created, I would appreciate it. And then I thought we would do Zentangle, since just by the name, we already know that it's relaxing and stuff. And I actually did this project, which I posted on our flyer, with my students in my art club. So I had them draw out their name and leave it as a negative and create a design in the background that we filled with the Zentangle patterns. And I don't even know if we can call it that without, you know, inciting a, you know, copyright infringement thing, but I even created one of the patterns. One of my students found this fish pattern, which I thought was absolutely adorable. Can you see that?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Isn't that so cute?
yes.
Then I thought with fish, we have to have cats. So then I created this step out with cats for another part of it, which is so cute.
It's kind of like a tessellation in a way.
Yep, sort of.
But it's a pattern. Yeah.
Really easy. And I don't know if you have heard of this website. I might have mentioned it before, but it's tanglepatterns.com, where if you go on, there's like a gazillion different patterns and you can randomly search or search by the name. And they show you each pattern on there has a step out in terms of how to do it. And they also, she sells a digital book of all the patterns on the website as a reference. I think it's like $16. So I bought one and I use it to show the kids patterns, you know, and it's very helpful. I also, just because I was bored and didn't feel like creating anything major, I just made myself a small pad and made swatches and practiced some patterns just to, it's like busy work for my hands while I'm mindlessly watching TV, but I'm doing something so I don't feel so guilty.
Oh, nice.
And it becomes a reference for you also, like if you want to do artwork, and then fill your artwork with all the different patterns.
What size is this?
This is, I think it's a 5x7. A small one. Both of them. I like the small ones because then I can throw them in my bag if I go out. I don't have the size with me, but yeah, it looks like 5x7.
Okay.
It's half of this guy.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the ones with the thicker paper, the multimedia paper, because I love thick paper. I never know what I'm going to be in the mood to do. But I hate when you buy the pads with the thin paper and then you use marker and it bleeds through the other side. It's just like this. I did this as a sample for my kids and it bled through. And oh God, that's just, you know, what a waste of the other side of the paper. So anyway, I don't know.
Art teacher.
Well, I like a pristine work surface when I start. So if there's any smudges, I just automatically call it a waste of paper and I move on to the next side. So,
Can you hold up that fish pattern again?
yes, I will. Oh, I have to show you. Do you guys know Romero Brito, the artist? So I did initial project with the kids also. Draw out their initial of their name and then decorate it like a Romero Brito. I'm just going through what I have in my pad here. All right, Mom, you wanted to see the fish?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Let me get close to it.
Fish. You see it?
Up a little and to your right.
Perfect.
All right.
Wow. I'd like to know how to do that one.
I can try to show you. I think I have it. Yeah, I can show you how to do that.
Oh, good.
Demo.
Good.
All right. I'm gonna put on my my handy dandy document camera. Let me grab my pen. Oh, I also use these microns for all my artwork in a million different point sizes. I love these guys. They're my favorite pen to use for anything. Hi, Ollie. He's coming to hang out. All right, so my document camera. Oh, okay. And too many bells going off. All right, select my camera. Don't know why it is. Oh, this is weird. Oh, I'm wondering why I can't see my desk and my camera is pointed at the ceiling. This is, yeah, really crazy. Okay, and sharing the screen would be also helpful. So now you can see Ollie's tail because he's on top of my desk.
Looks like it's on his back again.
Yeah, he flopped down. Actually, can you see? He's just like, hi, Mom, I'm going to interrupt you.
It's like he passed out.
Well, hi, bud. Okay. Let me just get the camera set up and rotate. All right. Can you see my desk and my cat's rear end?
Not
All right. Let's get back to here. Okay. All right. So, let me just draw with a pencil. Excuse me, Ollie, I have to move your tush. All right. I'm gonna make a square. That's not a very good square. I'll make a square so you guys can see how I start the pattern, and he is laying right on top of the pad. Sorry to disturb. All right. And it looks like what we're gonna do. Let me see if I can lower this. Tell me when it's good. Is that okay?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So basically it looks like this kind of a shape. So we're going to just do multiples of these. And they're not perfect. And then
It's like scales.
yeah, I guess so. Or you know, if I was doing it this way, it'd be, you know, kind of Ollie, really? So you would really fill your whole space with these kind of shapes. And if you're not comfortable going with the marker or the pen, you could do it with pencil first. Depends, just because I'm just doing the sample, so I don't want to. You could see it better with the pen rather than with the pencil. And then you're going to create a line here for the face of the fish. So all of them will have, I love that it kind of look like a school of fish. And it's so detailed. I love the patterns that are super, super detailed. Like the more intricate, the better. Keeps my brain and my hand busy. Okay, so they kind of all look like pencils or crayons now, kind of. And then you can go back and add the eyeball. However you want your eyeballs to look. The one in the pattern that I copied has this double, you know, empty eye, a double circle, one within another. guess you'll figure out the size, and then you just do the lips. This is really not perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Fish
Now what?
face.
Fish face. And then you go in and just add the little scales behind it, which is kind of the same pattern repeated again, only in
I'm
Ollie.
pretty sure I can't do this and that at the same time. Oh, good. Another one of the same one? Did you see that I have a bunch?
We can hear you. I'm not sure who that is again. Oh, you tried Zentangling.
There's aren't there other ones just like it?
Okay. So Risa said, I tried Zentangles with my 3 to 5, but they seem to struggle with it. I guess it depends on the complexity of the patterns.
Yeah, even the simple ones, they're just, my kids were really into rushing. You know, they're little and
Yeah.
but I think because the neurographic was like a little more free form, so I think they grooved on that a little bit more. But
Oh, Norma, I love that.
there were some kids who liked, who liked both, but
Right.
I got more usable photos from the neurographic ones.
Out of curiosity, how many of you guys were at the session that we did where Mario's friend did the school art show demo for his website?
I
Were
think
you
I was
guys-
at that one.
Did you use the website, by the way?
My district they already created one that we're using.
Oh,
Because I had asked permission and my, the lady, I can't think of her name.
Uh-huh.
The one that runs everything for the fine arts director, that's her. She said that we already had a program that we're using because I brought it to her. I said, this is a great program. I said, it puts it in a museum. And she had a different program that she pushed out for us to use.
okay.
Yeah, we just had our Art and Music Festival last Friday. I had 23 galleries and people loved it. Like I got so many comments about it.
From that program, or was it something else that you used?
No, it was that program. I had been to another PD from Mario, or I think Mario was at one with Karen. Anyway, I was introduced to it. I couldn't make it the night that he did it with you guys, but yeah, so I used that program, and I kind of started during a couple of the other breaks, like starting with the earlier work, putting it in, because
Right.
even it's very easy to use, but it is time intensive to like crop your photos and upload them and everything.
Yes.
But it got really strong response. People just were blown away.
I wish also, because I created mine and I'm actually showing it tomorrow at 11 o'clock for my whole school. And I wish there was an easier way to rearrange the boxes. I know it's just a drag and drop, but you can't see everything all at once. So it takes a while to shuffle something. When you first insert it or upload it, it's at the bottom. And if you want to put it all the way in the beginning, you have to go however many rows back of stuff you've already done.
Yeah. Likewise, I wish there was a way to reorder the shows on your list page, which I couldn't find a way to do. But it was pretty good. When we showed it on the Zoom, the one thing was because we had so many people, there definitely was, this happens on our Zoom, that we get like kind of a time lag. So like I had set, I was trying to do really small settings of seconds just because I was like, this is going to last forever. So I had them set at, say, depending on which artworks they were, 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds or whatever. But because of the time lag on the Zoom, I could hear the music that I'd set it to kind of moving at a slower pace. So I think it lasted a little bit longer, but I think that had to do with how many people we had on the Zoom.
I still have to tweak a few things. The other thing I wish you could do is change the fonts in the on the name panels or the descriptions. And I can't remember if he said he was working on that to make more options.
Yeah, I think also that he welcomes feedback. I mean, I noticed that some people must have given feedback that now you have an option not to have the silhouettes of the people looking at it.
Right.
which is nice because sometimes sometimes it's really cool to have that, but it is also nice sometimes, like if I had longer titles, I didn't want that so that the whole title would show.
I don't think that's an option. It's either all of them are on for the whole thing or all of them are off. I don't think you can, you know, take them out of the ones with the longer titles.
Right, no, but I would choose, like if I had a show where kids just happen to have a lot longer titles, I just chose not to have it for that gallery, but had it for other ones. So the kids got the sense of it sometimes, but they didn't have to see that every time, I felt.
Right, right. It's a great thing. I can't wait to hear feedback from the show tomorrow. I'm excited. And the cool thing is I've been complaining that I wasn't getting work from my kids, you know, all year. And then I'm sitting here and I'm putting the show together, and I went back to like you said in this fall semester and started gathering work, and I'm like, wow, I have way more work than I thought I had, you know. And it's not only it's the same kids over and over again, but the same kids have multiple pieces, but it's still way more work than in my head, I didn't think I would. Like, what am I going to show? The kids didn't do any work. And here I have this, like, you know, 150 slide presentation. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel so bad anymore. It made me feel much better. So have you guys got the fish down?
Yes.
Yep.
Did you want me to show you my kitty cat one?
Please.
Sure.
Okay. That one's pretty easy. You do need to do, let's see here. You could start with dividing the square into 4 sections. And then into 3 sections, actually 4 sections. I changed it because I didn't like how long the cat's faces were. So here, I'll do it over here. Take another piece of scrap paper. Okay, so here's my square. And when the pattern is on a grid, I always use pencil because I don't trust myself to do the marker perfectly. Okay, so here is my grid penciled in. And then what I did was I made this this is the ears and the top of the cat's head. And I did that on the top of every single box. All the way across. So that when you do that, it also elongates the chin from the cat above it. There we go. And then you go in and you put your little face. Put your eyes, whatever size you want. And this took practice too. Like if you like your eyes close together, if you like them farther apart, you see what you like best. And then I actually made little hearts for my nose. And then I just put in the whiskers, but you guys could put in the faces any way you want. And then I alternated, where is it? The black, you know, it's like a checkerboard pattern. And when I did the black cats, I used a white paint marker, a super fine one, to put the faces on. So that was really cute.
Fishies.
Yes, fish and cats. It was just cute. I don't know if you want to just doodle or if you want me to show you something specific. I didn't really, like I said, format this meeting. I thought it would just be real casual. Oh, I did this a couple of years ago. I love patterns.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I did.
That's a nice one.
This one or mom?
Which is mom?
The one I just had up. You must have missed it. This one that says mom. Or wow.
Yeah, well, I can't see the whole thing. Wait a minute,
Why can't you see the whole thing?
because I made it too big. Okay, now I can see it. That is nice.
I've shown that to you before, I think.
I don't remember.
And this, and I actually did.
Hmm.
I showed a project that I just did with. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. See if it's on my phone. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go grab it. It's hanging on my wall. It's easier than searching my phone. I'll be right back. Okay. So here is, let me raise this up a little bit. You guys see that?
oh, wow.
Love that.
Yeah, so this is just a cat and a window, and the whole thing is just colored in, or filled in rather, with Zentangles, all different patterns.
I have a question, Steph.
Yes.
When you show students or ask students to do this, do you call it a project or do you call it artwork? And if so, how much choice do you, what kind of, I don't know, open parameters do you give them? I mean, obviously they can choose whichever Zentangles they are inspired to try, but like, how do you get more than just a project out of it, especially your high school students?
Okay, so I actually did this project last spring when we were newly into this mess that was COVID. And so what I did is I said I made the kids, first I introduced them to patterning. So I had them do 3 days where they had to go to the website that I mentioned to you, tanglepatterns.com, and they had to select 4 patterns and do them in a box, 4 up on a page. So let's say this was their paper. They had to do 4 patterns up on a page that they chose, that they liked. And they had to have contrast in the patterns, whether it was the size of the pattern, the color, whether it was more, dominantly white or predominantly black. And I had them do this for 3 days in a row as homework. So they got to go on the website, research the patterns, find the ones that they liked the best. And then they kind of created a palette for themselves, having practiced them. Then the next step I had them do was they were going to create a drawing of an animal of their choice. And I said to them, it didn't matter if you can't draw it freehand, you can print out a picture of an animal and trace the outline. I wasn't going to, get crazy with exacting drawings at that point. If you just want to do a butterfly, draw a butterfly. If you want to trace a picture from the internet, that's fine. Just create an outline. And what I did was I created checkpoints, gradable checkpoints, to make sure that that it was their work. So I checked the 4 patterns each day, and then I checked the outline of the drawing of the animal that they did with no fill. So it was just the outline drawing. And then the next day they had to divide, like I was told to break everything down into really bite-sized steps. So that also kept them accountable, because some of them really had the balls to pull stuff off of the internet and say, I did this. The craziest thing was, and it even happened as of last week, somebody took my own example and submitted it to me as their work. I'm like, what are you thinking? Are you crazy? Like, so if I broke it down into micro steps, it forced them to have to do it. Like, you couldn't just submit a finished project without getting zero the whole rest of it and failing anyway. So they submitted the drawing of their animal. Then they had to divide their animal into the sections. Like it had, and I told them, your drawing has to have at least 7 sections that you're going to fill with 7 different patterns. So they can't just put a plot, you know, an X divided the whole drawing into 4 and that's it. So then I approved the outline drawing. I approved the division into sections, and I told them it also had to have organic lines. They couldn't be straight, hard, or pointy, because if it's an animal, it's organic. It's not flat and hard surface. So the lines had to kind of go with the shape of the animal. And then the final step was to fill it with the different patterns. Each area they could duplicate, but it couldn't all be the same pattern. And I told them that's have a minimum of 7 patterns. So
thank you very much. Would they have done 4 patterns per day, so a total of 12?
Yep. So they had a total personal palette of 12 patterns that they could choose from.
Good point. Good point.
Yep. And obviously, if they wanted more, they had the website to reference if they wanted to add more to that as well. Yeah.
I've done something like that similar, and how I have the kids, like one day, because I just, you know, I've got a bunch of Zentangle patterns that I've made copies of over the years, and they have to pick, you know, 4 that are, you know, like 25% white, 75% black, and then they had to find the 50-50s, and they had to draw 4 of the, you know, pick 4 of those, and then the 75 black, and that seems to work really well. And then on the last row, I have them do is just whatever you like, just, you know, make up your own, you know, what were you inspired by, or maybe there's just another pattern you wanted to use and you didn't get it in that category. And then from there, because I have it like it's a handout as well, and we spend a couple of days, then they have to pick 2 per row to put into their project.
Right.
And they seem to work, you know, the middle schoolers, for me, they just seem to work better when I say, is it 50-50? Is it mostly white? You know, is it mostly black? Is it mostly white? You know, we just say 75-25. And they seem to get that a lot better. They understand it better.
It makes more sense. I wish I had thought also to have the kids, although last year nobody was going out of their house, but now if you give them the assignment, you know, in the upcoming year, maybe they could go out of the house and look around their neighborhood, like really look, what are the patterns in your floor? What are the patterns on the building that you live in? Or, you know, look for patterns out in the world that might inspire original ideas that they can create themselves and copy. Because all of that's where all of these came from, you know, initially. A lot of the ones that are in the Zentangle program were inspired by things seen in the real world.
Years ago, I had them go on a pattern scavenger hunt. And, you know, just going around the school, going outside, and it was very effective. Like some of them would be like, they would draw one, you know, grass, and I'm like, seriously? I'm like, no. So, you know, but once they got into it, it was really kind of cool seeing how they interpreted the patterns they found around the school and outside.
Padlet's really great for that too, because if everyone does a search and puts up a couple of photos, and everybody has a whole bunch of photos they can pick as references.
Oh, hi, Nancy. I see your face.
I just wanted to make a couple comments. I teach 4 and 5-year-olds. I teach transitional kindergarten in San Francisco. And you guys are talking about stuff that I do, but of course mine is much simpler. And we often just use the bottom of shoes. They just hold up their shoes and we look at the patterns of shoes.
That's a great idea.
Do rubbings. I mean, the shoes, oh my God. And I also use shoes, they step on the clay. I have the little ones make a ball of clay. They make like 10 balls of clay or whatever. And then they step on with their shoes or someone else's shoes, a better pattern. And then they write the letters of the alphabet on the other side. And then I turn them into like pendants and we hang them in the room as a mobile of the alphabet. And then the kids make one extra with their own initial. And then, I take a picture of the kid with their thing up to their face before it's glazed. And then when you rub it, when you bisque it and then you rub underglaze or stroke and coat and then rub it off, it's gorgeous, right? The highlight. I mean, I have samples I can get up and show you, but this is really interesting that you do this in high school. And also, I just wanted to comment, somebody talked about the neurographics. One of my 5-year-old children, can you see this?
Let me spotlight you so we can get it.
His mother, I should turn a light on, right? So I unplugged my lights from this morning. Hang on a second. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. He is a super student. He's 5 years old, and his mother, I did the neurographics with my little babies. So he presented this, which is a deck of cards his mother made.
Yes.
Memory game, and I'm trying not to take it personally at my age. And then his mother had him draw animals. It's hysterical. 2 of each animal. And guess what's on the back? The neurographic we did.
Oh, wow.
Neurographic. I don't know. Hang on. Let me turn my computer.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Isn't this incredible? And it's a game, and she sent it to me, and I'm like, you are kidding me. So, I mean, this is a puffin fish. So he wrote the name, and then these are laminated. This is a cow. I mean, are these hysterical or what? I started crying when she sent it to me. And on the inside, there's information, and it said, it gives the inside of the, can you see? It gives the inside of the information. And then it said, Jeremiah had so much fun and joy in drawing lately that we wanted to find a creative way to share and ultimately memorialize his art. I mean, it's incredible. A 5-year-old did this.
What a great idea.
Just a blast. I've learned so much from you guys listening, and just as a sidebar, this week, now you guys can laugh and you can appreciate this the most in the world. I ended up working with a blind teacher who works with kids in art. And I've met him before. He's a ceramic artist in our district. And I've just met him and helped him with ceramics. Anyway, he had to help a student who was blind or had low vision, who was failing their art class because the teacher had no idea what to do with the child. And so he and I worked with this kid. So I basically all spring, once an hour, once a week, every hour. I mean, whatever, 1 hour, once a week. We worked with this kid on Zoom, and we sent him a whole bunch of supplies. We sent him wiki sticks. We sent him twisties wire. We sent him clay, of course. I don't know what else we sent. Anyway, we did projects every week. Of course, he ended up getting an A in art, but that's not the point. We started, tomorrow's my last day. In the summer just now, we are teaching blind and low vision students on Zoom to do visual art. So we're meeting with them from 9 to 12. The elementary was last week. This week is middle and high school. Again, I bought a bunch of supplies. I delivered them to everybody's house, ran around San Francisco, and every day we do 2 projects. And so I'm working with blind kids on Zoom, and my co-teacher is in Turkey. He lives in San Francisco, but he's from Turkey. So he went home for the summer. it's like unbelievably exciting. And we're making, you know, whatever we're doing cars, and we're doing, you know, rolling the newspaper, nothing thrilling to us, you know. I cut, you know, circles out of cardboard to make the vehicles, and they can make whatever they want. We're giving them the supplies and then trying to encourage them. But it is so incredibly challenging to talk. I'm the talker, right? So I'm the one who verbalizes what's going on so that the blind teacher can know what's happening. And the other kids who are low vision or blind, they can know what their peers are doing. And it's just been like the most challenging. And then we're documenting at the end of class or during class what's happening and the questions, and the teacher created questions for the high school kids. But let me tell you, the parents, they'd be willing to pay $500,000 for this class. This is a free class. It was offered to anybody for free with low vision in the Unified School District.
Right.
And it's just been like super well received. It's been incredibly, I don't know, eye-opening, no pun intended. I'm talking to the kids about, you know, because I'm talking to them and I'm thinking, okay, you guys have to visualize. I'm thinking, is that an okay word to use? Use your mind's eye to figure out what vehicle you're going to make, or you know what I mean? It's been, the parents are like, are you going to be doing this all year long? Are you coming to my kids' classes? And a couple of the younger ones, they all had one paraprofessional. Two of the kids were Spanish speaking only. They had to have their paraprofessional talk to the parent or the support staff on the telephone while I'm verbalizing in English. We had another kid who had cerebral palsy, who, I mean, it was just so interesting. So anyway, that's all. But I mean,
the parents were sitting with the kids while you were doing this?
no, in the elementary school, one of the kids, a kid who had CP and low vision and a tracheotomy thing, she had a nurse sitting with her, and her parents asked if her sister could do it with her. I'm like, of course, you know, and I give the kids, of course, I give them way too many supplies on purpose. And she had a nurse sitting with her, but her mom would jump in from time to time, you know. But the other two kids one was living with her mom, and was getting the translator. The other one was in a program during the day, and he had other physical issues. But the younger kids, there were a ton of adults on the Zoom for the younger kids.
Right.
These older kids, I've never worked with high school kids before. I've only worked in middle and elementary my whole life. And the high school kids are so intense, and the stuff they're talking about, and an opportunity for these blind kids who don't interact with each other. They don't have social lives. You know, their athletic opportunities are minimal. And we're just talking. I mean, it's when they talk to each other, I get all choked up, you know, because they're like, hey, have you ever been to the baseball? Because we did 3-dimensional masks just out of cardboard, you know, and it's just, and the kids don't like glue because it gets messy because they can't see where it is. So it's all these other elements that I've never considered before. I mean, I've worked with visually impaired, but never like this kind of on Zoom, right?
Right.
And you know, trying to explain to the kids, you know, don't aim the scissors there, or, you know, it's been so, as a suggestion in your school districts to work with the special needs kids, it's phenomenally brain enlightening or expanding. It's just, you know, it's not your run of the mill, okay, everybody draw 3 concentric circles and put a cross in the middle and let's do patterns and design. It's a whole different thing. It's so interesting.
Wow.
Anyway, it's just, that's all. I didn't mean to take over here, but
No,
it's just so, and all my friends are teasing me. They're like, yeah, we'd love to hear how you're teaching blind kids visual art on Zoom, you know, and it's really, their patience is unbelievable. And hysterically, one of the kids today, I purposely gave them pre-cut sheets of aluminum foil at the dollar store, right? It was $1. You get 25 sheets of pre-cut aluminum. That was a deal. And so I gave it to the kids so we wouldn't have to deal with the serrated edges of the aluminum foil and everything. One of the kids' parents took that box and switched it with the spinning thing that we all use to rip off the aluminum foil. And the kid has no experience with aluminum foil. So I said, okay, now pull a piece out and then rip it on the bottom. And he had no experience. So he kept pulling it out. I'm like, stop what you're doing. And his room was filled with aluminum foil. And as he was pulling it, he was getting more and more angry. And then he ended up, we talked all the kids through, what do you do when you get angry? You breathe, you take a break, you know, the whole, you know, SEL teaching.
Yes.
But it was hysterical. And then at the end, he goes, yeah, well, aluminum foil is not so bad now that I know how to work with it. But just to watch how they turn and hear how their patience, right? If you're visually impaired and you're doing anything, you have to have so much patience.
Yes.
Just phenomenal. It's really been you know, I'm 50, how old am I? Yeah, I wish I was 50, 63. And just, you know, this is my 45th year of teaching. And just to learn something, you know, how rare it is that we actually learn something that's mind expanding, you know, it's just been really interesting. So I thank you all for your project ideas. I've used so many of them this year with my little kids, of course, simplifying them, mega simplifying them. But it's just been, I've really enjoyed this group, and I've been so sad when I haven't been able to be with you guys on the live time. So anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I think you popped in after I asked everybody. I need to do a presentation for my district about this group. And I had asked everyone if you could email me a little testimonial about how you feel about this group for this weekend so that I can use it in my presentation. So this is perfect. If you could just type some of that out for me and email it to me, I would appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Sure. And I'm sorry I was late. I was actually with my friend who's 6 years younger than me, who's got Alzheimer's.
Oh God.
I try to do art with her every couple weeks, and I bring materials, and of course I always have ideas, and that never happens. But you know, she gets up and she just comes over and hugs me, and she goes, I just love this. Anytime we do stuff, you know, she's so appreciative, and it's just amazing. Yeah. So I will send this to you, Steph.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
Is
Thank
it
you.
okay if I use a piece of this recording also and
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
You know,
I love how excited you are. That's
Spirit
fantastic.
has taught us patience on a whole other level. I mean, I've never thought I had a lot of patience, but when you're trying to tell a student how to do something and you will only have the camera, you have to learn to use your words instead of touching what they're doing and taking over for them, which is kind of my natural inclination. So I had to tell them, okay, stop and think about how to explain it, you know, step by step by step. So it has definitely taught me patience on a whole other level also for my kids, because this is hard. What we have done is hard, and we all deserve, seriously, we deserve our summer off after what we have just experienced. But we've also, I think, learned a lot of things that we could take with us into our practice moving forward in so many ways. So I'm grateful for the gifts of this incredible year. You know, I really am.
Every now and then I'm inspired to go back to work.
I found a couple of or a few tiles that I have done in the past. So I thought I would show you guys these also, and let me just share my screen with you. There we go. So these are some actual Zentangle tiles I've done.
Oh.
Have any of you actually done Zentangling, the actual Zentangling?
No.
No?
Yes.
Well, you did it with me, Mom.
Yeah.
Basically, the practice is that you start with these squares, which you don't have to buy their stuff, but it starts with a square. And inside your square, you create what's called a string. So first you do your four corners, and that kind of creates the boundaries within which you will create your design. And then inside of that, you kind of create your string, which makes your patterns and shapes that you fill with your Zentangles. So they call that a string. And then they teach you step by step how to do the different tangles. Holly Bow, I think that's what this is called, is actually the first one that they teach you. So they teach you how to do the pattern, and then they also teach you with the pencil and a stump how to do the shading to give it some of that 3D look. So you use the pencil and then you rub it with the stump to softly shade and give it some depth. That's the actual Zentangle thing. And then, you know, it just, they are kind of, I think it's kind of crazy how they copyrighted or trademarked the word Zentangle and all these patterns, because this is just doodling that millions of people have been doing for years and years and years, and now they kind of created this method and are now bazillionaires, and they have conventions and they teach and license people to teach this method. Kind of a crazy racket, but doodling is definitely a meditative kind of thing. And it's funny because when I was in school, the teachers would, you know, they would discourage you from doodling. They wanted you to pay attention in class. And now teachers want to encourage the kids to find a way for them to relax and focus. And, you know, I don't know.
Some people just focus better when they can doodle.
Yes, that's true.
I'm one of them.
I kind of have noticed the older I get, I need my hands to be busy even while my brain is busy doing something else. So
Yep.
this totally helps me. Is there anything or any specific design you would like me to show you, or do you guys just want to doodle on your own and keep chatting?
I'm good either way.
Good either way.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what I'll do? I'm gonna do a tile, and if you'd like to follow along, you can follow along.
You know what I just found in my Zentangle box?
What?
2 unfinished tiles from the first class that you and I went to. Can you
That's
see
a long
them?
time ago.
I know. Take a look.
Yeah, I see. You should finish them.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
When was that?
Oh my gosh, that must have been at least 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh my God, more. I was still working then, I think, wasn't I?
I don't remember.
I would say at least 10 years ago. I hate to say it, but. Oh,
Time-
wait a minute. No, you know when it was? Here's the book that I bought at the class.
Yeah.
And it's a calendar year for the year of 2013. You see?
That's 7 years ago.
7, okay.
Huh. No, it's 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Well, I was already retired, but yeah, I remember when we went.
So I'm drawing my shapes.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys can see because the light is really bright there. Oops. Maybe I should turn the spotlight off and see if that helps. There. Oh. I can't. There. Now it's in shadow. You can see my shapes that I drew.
I just wish my hand was steadier.
Okay.
Easy hand.
Decide what designs to put in each shape.
Anybody drinking wine?
A couple of us, not me, but
Yeah.
I got coffee.
I wanted I went out to, I took my son out for a late birthday lunch today with mom, and I was all set to have a Bloody Mary. And the waitress came back and said they were out of the Bloody Mary mix. So I was a little disappointed. I'm going to set my palate for a delicious Bloody Mary and a burger, and it just didn't happen. I had the burger, which was great, but
Is that the only drink you drink?
it's the only one. I've been doing keto for 3 months, so it's the only one that I've kind of given myself permission to have because it's the lowest in carbs because it's vodka. So it's okay.
Well, your son made up for you.
Yes, he had 2 mules. 2 Moscow mules, or whatever it was called. I don't remember.
How old is he?
He just turned 26.
He's got my son's age,
It
27.
doesn't seem possible that I could have a 26-year-old.
Mine will be 27 in July.
Oh my goodness.
He's my baby.
Yep. And how is it that I still feel 27 and yeah.
And how about that his grandmother feels 20-something sometimes?
He's almost the age I was when I had him. How is that possible?
Well, the most important thing is to keep your youthful heart.
Exactly. That's the other thing that I've learned as I've gotten older in the last couple of years. It is so important to play and to remember to play, I think, which is another really cool thing about this group, because to some degree this is playing. So I have brought play back into my life, and that keeps you young.
The other day, I bought a bottle of bubbles to blow.
You found one?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
I'll go out on my balcony and blow the bubbles one day.
They are
And
going to
then-
call you the crazy lady of the courts.
No doubt.
Crazy bubble lady of the courts.
Do you guys see what happens when bubbles are, I think, I don't know if it's below 0 or below freezing when you blow bubbles outside?
Oh, it's
What happens?
fascinating.
Yeah,
They,
right?
they freeze?
They crystallize. It's the coolest thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Broken glass, I guess. Yeah.
You can find videos of it on online or on YouTube. It's really neat.
Would it happen if you blow them into the freezer?
The freezer? I don't think so. I don't know. You should try it.
Maybe I will. You know, the only thing wrong with the darn thing, the bottle of the bubble liquid is fine, but it came with a blower, like it's got a battery in it. And it's something like you push the battery and wheels start turning to blow the bubbles. You don't even have to blow. And I'm thinking, this is
fun is that?
ridiculous.
What fun
I
is that?
know.
Huh.
These things keep getting more and more complicated. I mean, I was thinking I'll have to twist a wire by myself, make a circle and just twist it together.
Well, you could still do that. Take an old clothes hanger or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stand there with this battery operated. It looks crazy. It really does. All different colors and whatnot.
You, does anyone know the website, The Kids Should See This?
I've never heard of that.
It's a really great website. It's got, I think her mom started with her son and she like curated all these videos that she thinks just are great for kids to see. And they have collections by science, all categories, and art. They have like 455. And they're like, they tend to be short, you know, they can be a minute and a half, they can be 8 minutes. They don't tend to be very long, but they're really cool because you can show like a lot of artists and techniques or whatever. So I was looking for some last week, and I happened on this video, which I thought was so cool, of this guy who was making prints from, I don't know if you remember, do you remember that super elastic bubble plastic?
Yes.
Blow a bubble, like a multi.
I love that stuff. And I loved how it used to smell.
Yeah. So this guy was making prints of it. So I thought it was really cool. He would like smash the bubbles and have a print of it, which I thought was super cool. And then today, a paraprofessional in my school had this, she said, I have this bubble stuff, but I don't know how to use it. So I went down to help her. And it was that, except it was, again, it was more fancy than when we were kids. It wasn't just a straw and the tube. It was like the tube and the tube screwed into something at top, and it came, and she couldn't figure out how to do it. And finally, I showed her how to do it. And she's like, how do you know this? I'm like, this is what I used to play with this when I was a kid.
Oh, I love those things.
I never thought of those in all these years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
In our grocery stores here at Safeway, in our grocery stores, the best goofy gifts like that are up and down the aisles. Sometimes I go to the normal grocery store just to buy those funky kind of toys. And that's always in the aisle.
It's like a retro thing now, along with like the spirograph. And you remember the spirograph? Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yeah.
And Etch-a-Sketch is coming back too.
Yep. Yep. See, these kids today are so focused on all the tech and the bells and whistles. They don't know how to do just plain, simple, old school,
Old school fun things.
yeah, bare bones kind of stuff. Have you ever seen the video where a mom pulls out an old telephone and tells the kids, make a phone call? And they literally cannot figure out how to turn it on. They don't know to stick their finger in the rotary dial. They don't know to pick up the handle and wait. And it's like, I can't fathom that a child has never seen that kind of telephone. I mean, that's where we are, in time now, is that these kids have never seen an old telephone that you literally was attached to the wall and you couldn't move away from the telephone desk in the hallway of your house. You were stuck there, and then people were screaming at you because you were tying up the phone. Like, they have no idea what life was like.
And what about the kids that can't tell time on a regular real clock with hands?
Yeah.
Like my other grandson.
Which grandson?
Aiden. I wanted to buy him a watch, and Mark told me he can't tell time on a watch with hands. I have to get him a digital one.
Oh my God, really?
Really?
Teach them how to do it.
No, I would if he lived closer there in North Carolina.
Well, they know what a pizza is. Dividing a pizza, put it in geometry, simple geometry. The 12 and the 6 and the 3 and the 9.
Maybe when we go down this summer, that'll be a good project. We're going to visit. I haven't seen them in a year and a half or more.
My daughter was somewhere and she was told she could do something at the top of the hour. And she didn't know what that meant, and she didn't ask. And, it's just really, the people where she was didn't understand that she doesn't know what that means. It's like, look who you're talking to, you're talking to a 23-year-old. They don't know what the top of the hour means,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If they took a foreign language like French, you have to learn the analog. The grammar, and you'll learn more grammar, and you'll learn more analog rather than just digital. I used to work with the French teacher as the distance learning supervisor.
Wow.
And it's amazing.
Why would you learn analog if you're learning French?
Numbers. I mean, they would, you know, talk about how to count, and when you speak in French and you're talking about so many, you know, like, is it 8 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, yeah, when you learn how to tell time in French. Yeah.
Right. When you learn how to tell time in a foreign language. So it's worth it.
That's true. I have to visualize when I speak in Spanish and I want to say the time. I have to see it I have to see the clock in my head first and then translate it visually into the other language in my head.
But some kids aren't visual.
That's true.
My daughter's got ADD, and we didn't, you know, how kids lose things all the time, but one of the things when she was tested was they said she has no visual memory, which would then click into why she loses things all the time, because she literally can't visualize where she left it.
Ah, that makes sense.
And she couldn't learn a language. She couldn't learn foreign language. She had, because she can't memorize. So she had to do sign language.
Well, how does she learn? It's still visual, isn't it? Or is it more muscle memory?
Visual is the shapes of your fingers reflect what it means.
Right.
So like water is a W. I don't know. It's much easier for kids who have trouble with memorization to learn sign language than a foreign language. Yeah. And then it's kind of like a game. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's fun, you know, for her. It was fun for her to learn sign language.
Right.
It was fun for me to learn French, but she doesn't have that capacity. A lot of kids with ADD don't have short-term memory.
I didn't know that.
No, it's the whole thing.
Huh.
There's no future or past. You know, that's why when you say, you know, they always say, I'll do it later, because to them, that's the same thing as saying never.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Are you sure that's not just a ruse?
No, I've been to enough lectures and conferences and doctors, and way too many conferences and doctors. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real. And the whole thing, Steph, what you're talking about is playing.
Yes.
You know, now, whatever, 2021, now people are just, because I am in early education, they're just starting to prove why play is important. I mean, everybody knew it, but now there's all this scientific proof, you know? It's like, really, it took you guys this long to figure it out? Like, come on.
I mean, this year taught us that too. When everybody's stuck at home, how many video games can you play? You got to be creative and go back to, you know, board games, and go back to talking to members of your family instead of being separated into different rooms of the house on your electronic devices and not communicating. I mean, this has taught us all to come back to traditional interaction with people, and that's what's important.
That's what I'm going to miss about COVID.
Yes.
Is the quietness. And I went for a walk yesterday in my neighborhood, and because since the pool opened, I've been swimming and going to the gym. And I went for a walk yesterday, and I saw all these people walking around, but without masks. It was really weird. And just watching people be, you know, the cars were gone off the side. You know, remember when everybody's cars were home and it was so quiet? There were no trucks, no airplane sounds. Yeah, that was interesting.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, we gotta figure out what I'm gonna try to bring more. I mean, I think our practice is naturally full of mindfulness, but I think we have to consciously bring that into our practice when we go back in the classroom next year. At least I do anyway. Art isn't just about the product, it's the process, and the kids should learn to appreciate the process and how they get to the final product. Even if the final product is not what they intended, if they don't like it, the process is still valuable.
Yeah. It's the journey, not the destination.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I will have to remember that if I start my little classes for my senior neighbors again. They really enjoyed it. People are asking me every day, am I going to do the classes again?
You should.
Were you an art teacher or what?
I was an art teacher all my life. I taught every grade.
Wow.
I'm retired since '01, and I'm living in a senior community, independent living. It's everybody is different ages over 55. And I started a group before COVID because someone admired some of the artwork I was doing and wanted to learn how to do it. And I ended up with a group of about 9 people. What?
It was because you did the neurographic project with me. That's what
That's
you.
right. Yes, it was the neurographic.
Yep.
And I ended up with a group of about 5 people, including one man who had a stroke. And he was so happy to be participating
Yeah.
with all the ladies. And he only had the use of one hand. And he was in a wheelchair, but he came every week and he loved it. Yeah, maybe I should.
It's fun once you do it.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll give you something to look forward to.
Well,
I
now,
also, hmm?
now there's so many lessons online with materials that you don't have to buy, right?
Yeah.
I guess,
Paper towel, you know, what's the Japanese kind of dyeing when you fold the fabric?
Lori.
Yeah, shibori with food coloring, and there's some really cool stuff online about salt, making art with salt, gluing it, you know, on a piece of cardboard, and then once it's dry, you can watercolor it. Or you
wow.
can food dye. Yeah, there's so much home-based art material projects now because of COVID. It's fantastic. All the stuff to do with toilet paper rolls, who knew, right?
Trouble is, did you save them all?
No, but they're online somewhere. Someone else did.
Yeah.
You know, you can look up projects with toilet paper rolls and you will be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We were working outside the summer before, I guess. We had table and chairs outdoors. So what we could use was limited, couldn't really paint, but that was okay. It was fine.
Because you didn't have wall space.
No, we didn't have water. We didn't have place to wash brushes or anything. We were outdoors by the.
I said it's just like pushing in. No water.
That's what I'm thinking.
To other people's classrooms.
Yeah, we did markers and pen and pencil. Mostly colored pencil and markers. It was fine. It was good. Yeah, I had so many years of experience being on a cart.
Oh,
One year I was in 4 different schools, elementary schools, 4 different schools during the week and on a cart in each school.
Yep.
That was quite a year. Yep.
Oh, speaking of, they gave me my schedule, my tentative schedule for next year.
Yeah.
So I teach 5 classes a day. and it's always been either visual arts, graphic design, whatever it is. It's always been visual arts. This year, they've given me 1 visual arts class, 3 photography classes,
What?
and 1 music class.
Hi.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, music and art, music and art. I mean, if
yeah,
you're-
but I'm not a, you know, I kind of had a little like freak out because I'm like, photography doesn't bother me. That's fun because I did a lot of digital photography this year with the kids.
yeah.
But music, I'm like, all I know how to do is turn on my radio. Like, what the
So
hell
can you
am I
make
going?
musical instruments with art supplies?
I don't play musical instrument.
No,
I'm
no,
not.
no, make the musical instruments. I don't play either, but I mean, I've taught a million.
No, I can't teach art.
Oh,
I have to teach music. So I did some brainstorming on my own, and I came up with, I'm going to do a film soundtrack class. So I'm going to be teaching the importance of soundtracks in music, good and bad. So we're going to watch movies and we're going to analyze the soundtracks and say why, you know, why is this music, I don't know. I have to figure out the questioning, but soundtracks and movies wouldn't be the same without soundtracks. I mean, it's the soundtrack that guides your emotions through the film, and it's
Yeah.
super, super important. So that's the basis of what I've decided to do. And they can't observe me in a class that's out of content. So I'm like, you're going to give me a music class? We're going to watch movies and talk about the music the whole year. And that's what my class is going to be. So
Steph, I just watched last night for the second time I think it's HBO Go segment on the Bee Gees, and oh, it was wonderful. And I did not realize that they actually sort of created the songs out of Saturday Night Fever without even reading the screenplay or the script. They didn't really know much about it.
Wow.
And it wasn't intended to be disco. They really didn't have that in mind, but their whole genre, their whole career is just, they reinvented themselves 3 or 4 times and responded to, you know, what was popular, as well as the kind of music that they enjoyed making.
Right.
And it's really worth watching. You might really enjoy, you might be able to adapt something that's school appropriate from Saturday Night Fever, the music that became the soundtrack, which kind of launched them. And
I think what's really neat about going with the soundtracks is that there are so many different music genres that the kids are going to learn from that.
Yeah.
Because so many movies use so many different genres of music. I mean, contemporary. You know what's going to be really interesting is doing teaching Romeo and Juliet, like an old version of the film with classical music, and then the newest one with Leonardo DiCaprio, where it's all contemporary rap music, and do the compare and contrast of the different music styles, and how does that affect the storyline, and you know, which one do you connect with? I mean, it gets the kids to think about things that they just don't normally think about, you know. So I think it's a good idea, and I was surprised by how many. I went on the website, you know, Teachers Pay Teachers. You guys know that website? There are so many lessons for teaching about musical soundtracks or music soundtracks in film. I didn't even realize. So that's going to be a good resource to use also.
You know, how often is it that you watch a movie and you don't pay any attention to the soundtrack? It helps move the movie along, and it makes your emotions, but you don't really stop and think and listen to it.
Right.
And then when it's time to analyze it, that's a different story. You really have to listen.
Yeah.
Did you have to get approval for that idea?
No, they basically tell me what I'm teaching and leave it up to me to go do what I got to do.
That's amazing.
Well,
Didn't
I
they
think-
let go a lot of music teachers last year because of COVID?
uh-huh. Well, we don't have, they want to give the kids more options because the first problem, I think, the first reason is because I had such low passing rate this year. So they want to give the kids another choice. But because I am the only arts person in the entire building, that means I have to be the one to give the choice.
Oh.
I think they also want to hold off on any art that would require sharing of supplies or making the kids responsible to get supplies, which is why I think they went with the photography thing. This is all my own assumption. This is nothing that they've told me yet.
Mhm.
So just to try to stay on the safe side. So they're assuming every student either has a phone with a camera in it or a laptop or tablet with a camera in it. And if they don't, then they can't obviously take that class. So to limit one class with hands-on stuff and materials would be much easier to fund than 5 different classes where everybody has to have their own supplies and worry about cleanup and all that stuff.
Steph, are you in a public school?
Yep, New York City.
They can't require kids. No public school can require kids to get something that costs money because
Well,
that's
I know.
discrimination.
Yeah. Again, I know that, and they know that, which is why they're trying to keep the numbers of the kids down who would need supplies, because they're afraid they won't be able to fund it either. You know, they can't buy supplies for every individual kid to keep with them. You know what I mean?
but I'm sure that they can, there's enough people that have, what am I trying to say? That have old telephones that would donate. You know what I mean? I've seen that before, as people asking if they have old telephones for classrooms.
What do you mean telephone?
Old unlocked iPhones.
Oh.
You can get them for free on all those different sites that we have access to. You know?
I did not know that.
You know, Free Cycle. What's going on here? You know, Free Cycle. What else? You know, all those Facebook, Trash Nothing, Craigslist Free, you know, all those kinds of places.
I had no idea.
I passed a storefront today that said unlocked cell phones or unlocked iPhones. And I said, what the heck? Now I understand.
I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, I've got multiple phones I don't know how to unlock because you have to remember your what's it called? Your password.
Well, next year's going to be an interesting year.
Right?
Well, I say that every year. It just seems to get more interesting every year that happens.
If you're back in the building, won't you get some kind of a budget to order supplies again, or they don't have the money? What is
I
it?
don't know what they have yet, but apparently, you know, Biden has given a gazillion dollars to education. So there's going to be more money this year, but I don't know what they want to do, you know, how it's being dispersed and how much per school and how much is being allocated for what use, you know. I don't know anything. They don't tell me. So
It's only if the parents ask, you know, where the money's going or why isn't the money down to my child's classroom.
right.
I mean, I asked my boss, I said, what's going on with all that COVID money? Can't we pay for this program in the summer on
Right.
Zoom? Because, you know, she goes, we never saw that money. It all stops at the top.
Wonderful.
But if the parents ask where the money is, then they have to do it.
So many games that are played.
You know, all this discussion reminds me of when I started teaching at the American School in Barcelona. And they hired me to teach art to grades 2 through 10. And they said, write your own curriculum, do whatever you like, and tell us how much money you need for supplies, and whatever you need, we will get it for you.
That's nice. Why don't you just give me a blank check and, you know, call it done?
No, it was amazing. I mean, whatever I wanted, I got, and whatever idea I had for the kids to do was fine. I didn't have to, I wrote my own curriculum.
Well, that's what I've been doing for 18 years. It's just the last few, this past year just turned everything on its head. And now they're being very careful. You know, I mean, aside from the spreading of whatever by sharing supplies, I don't know, they have to be really careful.
Yeah. But, you know, that was new for me, coming from being a New York City teacher and looking for jobs in schools that had absolutely no supplies and told me I'd have to buy my own, you know, and then then going over there and being told exactly the opposite.
Well,
I doubt if you do, but do you remember any of the projects that you did in my art class in Spain?
the ones I did, no, but I remember your paper mache animals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She was in my class in that school. And then one day the teacher brought the class to my door, and the idea that she taught them was to wish me, the teacher, a good morning or something like that. And so they came to my door one day, and she was first in line or second in line, and she said, "Good morning, Mommy." And from then on, all the kids were saying, "Good morning, Mommy." That was the cutest thing. I bet you don't remember that either, Steph.
Nope, sorry.
But I never forgot. I loved it.
That's a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. That was really quite an adventure, those years.
I'm grateful for that adventure too.
Yep.
So here's the new card that I'm working on. Coloring in the spaces now.
It's 8:33.
Oh my God, how did that happen? Really?
Yep.
Wow. Oh, Norma left. Everybody. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see. We're all doodling away. See what happens? Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that's our time.
Then you have to stop now?
Well, it's 8, you know, we go from 7 to 8:30
Oh, okay.
usually. So I don't want to keep everybody past our time. I could have kept going. I want to thank you all for your support and being part of this community, which has become a big part of my life. And if you could email me those testimonials, that would be great. And I'm taking July off. I am going to disconnect from the computer and find my brain and recharge my brain cells and my creative juices. And if any of you would like to request or volunteer for the upcoming season for project sharing or whatever, you feel free to email me. I'm going to send out one final email to let everybody know that I'm on pause for July, and then we'll be back in August. So again, I'm so grateful. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now and just let you guys know I'm so grateful for all of you. For, you know, my friends that I see once a week or once every 2 weeks. Thank you. And also for all the ideas and comments that you've shared. And I look forward to what's coming next year. And I'm sure next year is still going to require a lot of mutual support, going back to quasi-normal, you know, life, whatever that means, a new normal, and we'll figure it out as we go along. So is that Jolene? I can't, somebody sent Janine. Janine is still, are you still here? No, yes, you are. Thank you so much for your message. I appreciate that. And again, email me anytime. Nancy, let me know your schedule. If I'm here that week, absolutely, we can meet in the city or do something. I'd love to see you. And have a very safe trip. Be careful, especially on the plane. I don't know how that's doing, you know, with flying with all of this craziness, but be safe, and I will see you soon. And stay in touch if you like, and I'll see you guys on Facebook.
Much stuff for organizing this and running it, and every week and every other week, and all the emails and finding the people. It's really been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steph, for running it. Thank you for letting me be a part of it from the Midwest. I'm not an East Coast person or West Coast person. I'm right here in the middle of nowhere.
We're happy.
How to say these.
Enjoy our well-deserved summer, and I will see you guys in August.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Everybody's gone?
Yep. I just
Just
want to
you?
copy one message from the chat box that somebody put for me before I close out the Zoom. Everybody's so nice.
It's really fascinating to hear from everyone all over the country like that.
Yes.
And I almost feel, I don't know, it brings me back, you know, to who I was all the years that I was teaching. I really have enjoyed this.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Maybe you can figure out a lesson you can teach us, old school.
Well, I'll have to look through my lesson plans. I did try with the toothpick and the garbanzos, but I don't think it was very successful.
Oh, no, that's not in everybody's wheelhouse.
It's
But we could figure something else out.
very funny. I saved all the little samples that I made at, I don't know, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And I found them a couple of months ago, and when I picked them up, they all fell apart.
Yeah, like dry out and they get very brittle.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to edit this out when I post the video online.
Or conversation, okay.
Private convo, not
Yeah.
for public consumption. And I'm gonna go relax. Actually, I have to check my, I might send you a link later of the art show. Unless you want to pop in, you want to come to my art show tomorrow?
I'm not going to be home tomorrow,
Oh, you
otherwise I would love it. I have my date.
Right. All right. Well, I'll send you the link and you can watch it on your own when you have a moment. And good luck tomorrow. And please text me when you're home after the fact so that I know you're still alive.
Okay. It'll probably be about 7 or so when I get home.
Well, have fun, be careful. And I'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Okay.
You coming to say goodnight, Ollie?
Oh, let me see him again. He's so funny.
He's say hi to Grandma. You could see his paws.
Yeah. Ollie.
Ollie, say hi to
Ollie.
Grandma.
Hello, Ollie. Hi. You think he knows his name?
Yes, he knows his name. I love that picture I took of him last night. He's like, what? What?
Yeah.
So funny.
That really
right.
is really funny.
I'm
Okay.
out of here.
I forgot to put my teeth in before this.
Lord. All right. Good night.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Love you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.